Hello and welcome to the Chatter Cave podcast, where me and Mr. Old Zenith talk random crap for as long as we possibly can. And he's got a lovely Christmassy mug. But
Yeah, Christmas mug.
a month too early, my friend.
It's not. It's November. We're allowed to do it now.
But we're talking about games. If you can't see, my Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which I've never played, Glass.
I don't think I have any game related stuff. I got a Pikachu cup that counts. That'd be fine.
So anyway, I am the Dragon King Thomas Hughes.
And I'm still Zenith Fire. I haven't changed my name or anything, so
You need to change your name to Zenith Fire Gaming. It's confusing me as much as it's confusing no one that's watching or listening.
Well, it is on Twitch. It is on Twitch.
I know it is on that. I know it is, but obviously you need to fix it elsewhere. Anyway, so what's our lovely topic for today, Mr. Zenith?
Game of the Year contenders and other categories as well.
Basically, talking about Game of the Year in general, a lot of it, isn't it?
If at what we're predictions and what we think should get it.
We kind of had a discussion the other day about obviously who could what even came out this year to be nominated, really, and we spent ages trying to figure stuff out, and then we was like looking at next year. We're like, oh, next year's gonna be an even better year for Game of the Year. There's so many good games coming out that's gonna be fighting for the top spot, and it was like, but what really came out this year to fight for the top spot? So I tasked myself and Mr. Zenith to come up with 6 contenders. So I would think that would more than likely get nominated for Game of the Year. And, maybe try and pick one if we can out the list that we think might do it.
I just think this year for gaming in general has been pretty lackluster. Like, there's been big titles, but they're not been like this mega title. It's just like, it's just a throwaway thing. Like, oh, here's a sequel. Here's like a new IP, but it's not the best thing. It's like a lot of sequels this year.
There's not like anything major, really. Compared to like even last year, if you think about it, last year obviously you had Ghost of Tsushima, which was a big like brand new thing. You had was it last year Hades? Or was that the year before?
That was last year.
You had all these other like big name, like these games that you never even heard of, as pop up out of nowhere. Whereas this year, there's a couple, but there's a lot. I say a lot of it is sequels, as seen by my list, which contains about 3 sequels. Or 3.
The biggest problem is this year is like it's new hardware, obviously with the Xbox and PlayStation, and still there's not many titles that have come out. Like they're all waiting for next year to release stuff, and it's like the new consoles have got nothing really.
Yeah,
like, compared to what we should have.
Basically, a lot of shit's been postponed, ready for next year, just to make sure it works properly. God of War, Horizon, yada yada.
Obviously with the pandemic as well, everyone's doing stuff from home, so they're all delaying stuff. So.
Pretty much. Anyway, let's get straight into the list. I'll kick us off with I'll say one and then you say one from yours, and we go for like that instead of like doing like a massive thing. So you've already pretty much stated the one thing I'm gonna go with, which Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, that was a big game when it came out. So I sat through it. I 100%ed the game, got all the trophies on the game, and it's such a good game. So why wouldn't it be nominated for Game of the Year? I mean, Insomniac got nominated the last not last 2 years, but like within the last 3 years, obviously for Miles Morales and Spider-Man. So why wouldn't they go up for Ratchet and Clank? There's not many big titles that come out this year, so it's got a good chance of going for it.
That's the thing as well. Like, if it's not going to go for Game of the Year, it's literally just one of the few titles that actually came out for PlayStation 4 this year. So it kind of seems like a lot of people have to have played it. Like, what other title really came out for PlayStation 4 this year that was like a new like thing? Like, Ratchet and Clank totally changed the stuff. Obviously, you got like stuff like Far Cry 6, which is the same thing as the old ones. Really, there's nothing mega about it. I don't know what else really has come out as for PlayStation. What else come out for PlayStation this year?
Well, I can't really say because it's on my list.
Okay, I'm going to nick it for the next one because I don't want to say it. Okay, Returnal came out.
Yeah, that is also on my list.
Which obviously is probably one of the bigger titles PlayStation, but I feel like not a lot of people give it a look in.
It got very high rated though.
I think it got highly rated, but I never saw anyone talking about it. It's kind of like, oh, here it is, and then it's gone by.
I almost brought it not long ago. I was looking at it, I was like, do I, don't I?
I think visually and audio-wise, it looks amazing, but I've not seen much gameplay-wise from it.
It looks very Doom-like. I'd say.
See, I've seen people say that Doom, like, and I've had people on the review say it looks very like the Dark Souls style combat, like dodging and stuff, and longer drawn out fights, whatever. So,
It's probably like both like colliding, isn't it? Really.
hmm.
I'd definitely probably pick it up over the Christmas sales. Maybe play it over Christmas time.
Thing is, it does look good, but it's one of them things of like, if it was a different year, it wouldn't even be on the list for me. It's just because there's not many titles on the PlayStation that's come out. And obviously, being one of the biggest selling consoles, it kind of has to be like any game released on that console will be a contender this year. So,
okay, so I'm probably gonna steal one that's on your list then next, which is Resident Evil Village.
yeah, of course,
I haven't played it. You haven't. You've played it though, and I mean, Resident Evil's been nominated the last like 2 years in a row. Is it for Res 2 and Res 3?
How many hours have we got on it? Actually, let me have a look.
Like
Find it.
both. Obviously, the last Resident Evil titles got nominated. Did Resident Evil 7 get nominated as well? And that come out.
I'm not sure. It might have.
So basically, pretty much anything Resident Evil lately, big like solo games are getting nominated. So again, it makes total sense that Resident Evil Village, which was a big game when it came out, but for the fact it's a sequel to Res 7, so everyone was raving about it, and it came out to really good critical and audience reviews. So why, again, wouldn't this one be nominated? This is definitely sort of
I think
I
think this might actually be a contender for like the actual winner. Is Resident Evil, just because it's so big. Like, I mean, I bought it day one. I wasn't gonna buy it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. And I mean, I put like 20 hours into it first came out. Like, there's not many games that I'll sit and just play all the way through in one sitting, but that was one. I think it actually has a shot at Game of the Year this year. Yeah. I don't know what else.
I mean, if you look at the other years when, like I say, Resident Evil 2's been on there, Resident Evil 3's been on there, like there's been other games out that you've been like, okay, I'm pretty certain that's gonna get like the nod there. I don't think this is gonna get the win. Like I think last year, I swear it was last year. Was it Resident Evil 3 come out last year?
Was it last year? I think it might have been last year, like early last year.
2 was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was early.
If you looked at obviously Resident Evil 3 came out alongside the likes of The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and multiple other games, and you knew those. Well, you knew Last of Us was winning that, but I mean, you knew it wasn't going to win. And then you look at the 2019 one when you had the likes of Death Stranding, Sekiro, and a couple of other things as well. Again, you knew Resident Evil 2 wasn't going to win because obviously Death Stranding was a big obviously game because it's Hideo Kojima, and obviously Sekiro was from the same ones who did Dark Souls, wasn't it?
No. Was he? I don't think he's doing Dark Souls. Obviously Metal Gear Solid and whatnot.
No, I mean Sekiro.
I might lose my mind. I don't know. I don't think so. Was it?
Was it made by the same people who made Dark Souls?
You're making me question.
I'm pretty certain you said at work it is.
Oh, Sekiro. You know what I'm thinking? Yeah, of course it is. I'm thinking of fucking Ghost of Tsushima.
You deaf bastard. Now Sucker Punch.
Yeah, you was there and he was like, oh, talking about Ghost of Tsushima, and then he was like, Sekiro, and I was like, same thing, same game.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, obviously they're like big names, people behind it, so you knew they were pretty much going to guaranteed they were the ones that are going to go for the win. Whereas
I didn't even think it was going to be that big. I knew it was a big title, but I didn't think it was going to win Game of the Year that year. When it came out,
Death Stranding was the one that was everyone's predicting was going to be the big winner, wasn't it? Just because it was Kojima.
Problem was, it was so with obviously Death Stranding was like it was very mixed reviews. It was heavy, like either side. You either loved it or you hated it. I don't think many people was in between. It was just very like I when I first started playing it, I was like, this is alright, and then it got boring very fast, and then I just gave up on it. I know you played it all the way through. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I played it from start to finish, and I've started playing it again.
It's fucking walking simulator for like the first 20 hours, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored now.
But yeah, I mean, this is probably the year that you can guarantee that it's got a very good chance of taking the victory. I mean, I haven't played it, but obviously you've played it, so you can give it a bit more credit than I can. But I mean, from the gameplay I've seen, the trailers I've seen, it does look a very good game. It's just that I'm too much of a pussy to sit through it.
It's not scary, this one though, or not compared to number 7. It's more action, like more Resident Evil 4. I think that's why it's going to be so big, because Resident Evil 4 was a massive title. I think a lot of people have praised it, so
I'm like a
It
pussy when it
linked
comes to
with
horror
one.
games. I can sit for a horror film, but I can't sit for a horror game. Some, yes, not all.
Right, I'm gonna give my next one, which is Deathloop,
That's also on my list. So we've
and
basically
I
got
think,
three on my list.
and
Wait,
I think
was
this is
Ratchet and Clank
also
on your
another.
list?
Ratchet and Clank was on my list. It
So
was.
basically, so far with everything we've basically jumped back and forth, we've both had on the list.
I think there might be one or two we haven't got on the same
Yeah,
list, but
I definitely think so. So I mean, so okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. So there's 4. So if we got 4, basically the same.
yeah.
Okay, carry on then.
But I think Deathloop has a massive chance to win Game of the Year just because critics absolutely loved it. Critics went mad over it when it first came out.
It's quite unique as well, isn't it?
Especially on PlayStation 4, apparently, in the game you gun can jam. Obviously, I haven't got PlayStation 4 on PC. And you have to press a certain button, but on the controller, because it has something to do with the triggers, it locks the trigger. So you have to, like, I don't know how it works. Apparently, it makes the trigger lock in place so you can't press it or something, from what I've heard. So, obviously, that was a little gimmick. But I know for reviewers, it was like 10 out of 10 everywhere. It's like
So
going crazy.
when obviously we was talking about it quite a while ago, you were saying that you weren't going to bother buying it until they fixed all like the issues because there was a lot of issues. I mean,
Especially on the PC, so I think console was fine. PC so
yeah.
just had
Then
a
I
lot of
see
frame issues.
you out of nowhere like what about a few weeks, like 2 weeks ago was it?
Yeah, I just picked it up.
Brought it on sale and you was like, oh yeah, this is a really good game. It's basically Hitman, just like it's jump through time instead, isn't it? It's like
See,
if Hitman and Back to the Future had a baby.
It's more like Groundhog Day.
Or that actually, yeah. Hitman and Groundhog Day had a baby.
It's just good because of the fact of like you restart the day every time you die, obviously, and you go back, but you have to try and work out where everyone is and try and get them in the same position. And like it is good. Obviously, if you speed run the game and you already know where everyone is and you know the passwords for the doors, so you can probably finish it in like an hour. But it's mad how fast people can finish it just if you already know what the stuff is. Because obviously, the first time you go through it, you have no idea about the codes for the doors. You have no idea where people are going to be. But if you do it again, because it's the same day every time, you can just run through the whole game in like 2 seconds. So,
It's quite a unique like release. I feel like this year is going to be a bit obviously tight in terms of some titles, but I mean it's not as tight as it has been in other years. It's definitely one that there's a lot of games that will come out. You're going shit, that could win it, but that could also win it. Whereas if you say go back to 2018's awards when it was God of War and Red Dead, it was one or the other. It was like, yeah, that's the one.
That was a huge like thing. Like I think you went for Red Dead at one point. You was like, I think Red Dead's gonna beat you out, right?
Nah, I'm pretty certain I stuck God of War all the way.
So I only played God of War. I never played Red Dead. So I was like, I'm pretty sure loads of people are saying Red Dead over God of War.
Mate, it was on all consoles, wasn't it? So it had that edge. Because there's usually that little edge when it comes to having some on multi consoles, but only slightly. Because I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you're like, okay, it's got a good chance of winning because it is available to everyone. Whereas you're like, okay, no, this has got a good chance of winning because it's limited. Like a lot of people have gone and played it because it's so limited just to one console. Which is obviously you look at like Breath of the Wild as their God of War. Those are limited to just a single console. Last of Us Part 2. They were all just like even Nintendo or PlayStation exclusive. So you had to have those consoles. So sometimes they do get the edge, obviously multi consoles, but a lot of times in these awards they don't. Which is strange.
It's like the biggest problem with obviously the Game of the Year stuff is a lot of time it obviously it's mainly critics' views, right? It's like 90% critics, 10% fans. So it's like it doesn't. I think Game of the Year sometimes doesn't fully reflect what most people would vote for.
Like it should be like 50-50.
Yeah. But in that case as well, more people probably play Red Dead than God of War that year. So if it was 50-50, I think Red Dead would probably beat you out, to be honest. Which is a problem. I think Red Dead would have been very close, even critically though. I think it would have been.
I reckon it was very close behind. I mean, the guy who voiced Arthur Morgan beat fucking Kratos to the voice acting, and you wouldn't have thought that.
So Kratos' voice acting was brilliant, man.
So it's obviously it's quite interesting. Okay, what have I got on my list next? I'm gonna throw this in there. I reckon it could definitely do it. I mean, I really fucking enjoyed this game. I played it on my channel. It Takes Two. which is from the same people who made A Way Out, and obviously A Way Out was an interesting like first like co-op game that you can go at. But I mean, It Takes Two took everything from A Way Out and took it to the max. It gave you its original story of obviously family falling out, and obviously the mom and dad have to go through this weird world to try and rebuild their romantic connection. And it is such a good game. It's got the acting. It's great. The quest, obviously, you get to do throughout is just so fun. Like me and Alex obviously got to play it, and I definitely. So I don't want to play it on Origins again. I want to fucking pick it up on Steam at some point. I definitely wouldn't mind playing it with you over one of our Christmas streams, maybe.
Yeah, I'll play it. I mean, it's. I mean, how highly rated it was for a co-op single player game. It's pretty fucking huge.
It is. It's such a fun game, and obviously there's the little mini games within the stories itself. You can find them where you can do some weird ass stuff. Like there's one where you get a bomb strapped to your back, and you have to try and outrun your friend to like the obviously the finish line. If you lose, you get blown up. Or what was the other ones you had? Obviously you can play chess. There's like a whole bit with chess, which me and Alex played, and it took like a fucking half hour because it's two people that don't know how to play chess going, fuck, how do you play chess? This will do. There's just so much in it. Obviously, each like section of the game, from obviously the garden to like the circus, you get the space mission. There's a lot of really cool like levels to this game, and I definitely feel like it deserves a nod for Game of the Year. And though I did love Ratchet and Clank, if anything was to beat it, I would love it to be It Takes Two, because it wasn't like a big massive game like some of these other ones we've pointed out. Like as I say, it's no obviously big game like Ratchet and Clank. It's not this big IP. It's something new and original. And I mean, A Way Out came out to obviously decent reviews, but it was never highly reviewed. But I mean, this came out to such good reviews and praise, even from me and Alex. Like we both were like, this game is so good. We would recommend playing it so well. So if anything was to win, like a shock win, I would love it to be It Takes Two.
So yeah, I think with fans that game would be massive. Obviously, critics like the big AAA titles. That's their big thing, and that's the only place it'll fall out in. It's like there's not many years. Has there even been a year where an entitled won Game of the Year? I know Hades was up for it last year or whatever.
I think that was the closest. I think Hades probably the one though. It didn't win Game of the Year, but it come close. Not Hades. Disco Elysium. That come close.
That was quite a big title though.
And that one, I think the Indie Game of the Year. That won a few awards.
It's just the biggest problem with like obviously having user reviews versus critic reviews is smaller games won't get as much of a look in as like titles that have been out for a while. Like, obviously Ratchet and Clank have been out for a while. This is like a new revision now. It's like a lot, like from what I've seen, it looks a lot better than like the older ones. Obviously Resident Evil, that's gonna have a massive look in because it's still a well-known IP. It's just things like that are new. It always gets like a weird look at. Obviously, not every year has the same thing. Obviously, some years games come out and they seem to do really well from like nowhere. But then again, like God of War, that was like kind of like why Ratchet and Clank is like they haven't gone like totally new, but they kind of made the story
revamped what was made good.
And I think a lot of reviewers love that. They love like the change and stuff. Obviously, with it being more of like a single player game. It's like you never see many multiplayer games win Game of the Year. It's always single player.
Overwatch is probably the only one I can think of.
Oh yeah, that was the only one that was like really big.
And that was probably the shock one, wasn't it? Because it beat Uncharted 4.
Mm.
That's probably one of the biggest shocks in Game of the Year history. I mean, if anything was to shock us, I would love It Takes Two to shock us, because I definitely feel like the voice actors should get nominated for the Performer of the Year, because they were really good in it.
I've not heard any of the voice. I've only seen gameplay bits, so I haven't actually played. So I have no idea.
Both leads were really good in it. I'd definitely love to see them get nominated for the obviously Performer Award, but you know, we'll see when it comes round. You got anything else on your list? So I'm assuming It Takes Two wasn't on your list.
It Takes Two wasn't on my list.
Okay, so this is a new one then.
I'm gonna chuck it in there just because of what we was talking about with them liking sequels and stuff that's already been out, and I'm gonna chuck Far Cry 6 in there.
You're going for a Far Cry 6 in there. Okay.
I think Far Cry 6 will be up for it. Just because I honestly don't think many big games have come out this year that are even going to be up there. It's like a lot of indie games came out this year. It's just like really good, but a lot of big AAA titles have all been slammed. Like obviously Call of Duty came out recently, and that's like really slammed. Like even critic wise, people are slamming it, so that's a hard one. I don't think Battlefield will fall into the time frame with it.
I think
It
it
comes out
will.
this month.
I think I think it does. I think that, and is it Forza, which comes out this month?
Forza's already out, yeah. So that
I
might.
think that they both just about cut the cut off point.
I don't see. I don't think those have got it for Game of the Year, but I definitely think they'll win in their category. Like I think
Yeah.
Battlefield will win best multiplayer game, and Forza will win best racing game.
Yeah, I definitely think
But
they'll
yeah.
throw up for them, but I don't think they'll go into the game of the year. See, I don't want to put Far Cry 6 on the list, but I do have a feeling that, as you say, for the fact that it's like one of the only real massive major ones. Plus, Ubisoft always seem to have their games in some sort of category. Obviously, Odyssey, when that came out, was in Game of the Year. Obviously, last year, Watch Dogs and Valhalla weren't in Game of the Year. They were under like this other category, like innovation and shit like that. But
Yeah,
I don't know if that was because
change.
they come out like so late that they didn't bother pushing it for Game of the Year or what. But I mean, it's weird they didn't, especially fucking Assassin's Creed. I'm very surprised they didn't try and push that for Game of the Year. I mean,
Do you know?
unless they just guaranteed they knew that Last of Us was winning. It's like fuck it, let's go for another category and hope we win there.
Right, so on this in as well. I can't think what the name of the game is, but I've seen a lot of people like playing it and gameplay. It's like an extreme sports one. It's like mountain bikes, snowboards, and stuff. Is that Ubisoft as well? I feel like I might even try and push that into Game of the Year. I can't think what it's called, but I've seen a lot of people playing it,
I don't
and
know.
it looks quite visually good. Oh my god, I'm gonna try and find it now.
I don't know. But yeah, I feel like just for the, as you said, just for the fact it's a big AAA title, Ubisoft might try and push Far Cry 6. I feel like as well, like one of the reason that didn't push obviously the two last year was like the fact that they had two games. They're just like, okay, we don't have to push one without having to push the other, so they basically just didn't bother. I mean, this year I feel like it has got a good chance of being pushed. I mean, I haven't played too much of it. I think I played like a couple of hours of it. I'm very slow at that game, and that's why I got that dodgy email from the bad guy saying, "Ha ha ha, you can't beat me."
Yeah, everyone was like, "What the hell's this about?" Saw that.
Right.
I think it's called Republic Riders. If I'm right, is it a Ubisoft game? Is it this year it came out? I don't know. I'm looking. It's all in French.
But basically, you're thinking they might push that.
If it did come out this year, because there's some things here that say something about a reveal during 2020. I don't know how long it's actually been out. I think it was. Is it Steep as well? Wasn't that Ubisoft?
Oh yeah.
I think it's like the same kind of thing as that, but it's got like mountain bikes and stuff in. I definitely noticed that on PlayStation 5, so it must be this year. But yeah, that's another one that they'll probably try and push out just because it's so different. I feel like a lot of people like the different as well. But then again, new title, so maybe not.
Bless me.
Bless you.
Oh. My nose is tickling. I was like, oh. Oh. No, okay. Oh. No, it's usually in freeze. I usually sneeze 3 times. Okay. I've got another sequel, one that you probably haven't thought of. And it came out to quite high critical reviews. I was debating with this between two options, and I went with this in the end. Metroid Dread.
No, I was looking at Metroid Dread earlier.
That came out to really good critical reviews, and I feel like just for the fact we haven't thrown a Nintendo game in, I feel like Nintendo might throw Metroid in.
Yeah, Nintendo will have a game in it where.
So, I mean,
like
I've never played it. I think I've only ever played one Metroid game in my life. I didn't even know which one that was. It was on GameCube. That's what I remember. I mean, I was sat
Metroid Prime, I think it was.
Maybe. I was sat there just thinking, I was trying to think. I struggled to think of the last option. I was like, shit, what do I put in as my 6th choice? And I was there Googling, and I was like, what games come out this year? It was like, oh, Metroid Dread. And I was like, okay, so look, it was like, oh, quite critically acclaimed. I was like, that's got a really good chance of being up for there. I don't know if it'll win it, but he's got a really good chance of going for it, so I'm going to throw that in there. I can't really say too much about the game because I never fucking played it. I haven't even seen too much gameplay on it. I just know it got critical acclaim.
Like I say, another thing is Nintendo. Critics fucking love Nintendo. Like, no matter what I do, critics always like, hell yeah, Nintendo. Like, so
So
Yeah, I think it's a big possibility for a winner. Obviously, I've not played it. I'm not a big Metroid fan. I like the style of it. It's just not. There's better games in my opinion that do better. So,
I do have an honorable mention though. The one I was going to go for if I didn't go Metroid, Monster Hunter Rise.
oh yeah, I've seen a lot of Ben Monster Rise.
Thing is,
Isn't that the one that
I was debating. Yeah, it was on the Switch. I was
no
debating about
completed?
that for the fact that is it going to go for this year or will they try and push it next year because it comes out in January for Steam and everything.
Mm.
So are they going to push it on multi-console or push it specifically for Nintendo? I mean, they're probably better to push it for this year because there's not major games like next year. Because I mean, if they push it for next year, they're not going to win, guaranteed.
I think they'll push it for. I don't know if they'll be allowed to push it for next year because technically, if thinking about that, the original God of War could push for next year. That'd be stupid. I don't think they could release it again on PC and push for it again next year.
I don't know. Maybe if they don't push for this year, maybe they are allowed to. Maybe if they don't put it out this year, they can push for next year. I don't know how it works. I don't know how this industry works. I just know I enjoy it. But yeah,
that'll be the two big like Switch titles that'll either come over, like obviously Monster Hunter or Metroid.
Yeah.
I think that'll be at least one of them will be on the Game of the Year, if not both.
What's your last choice then?
My last choice is an odd choice because I don't think it'll be up there, but I want it to be up there.
Okay.
That's Encryption. I think Encryption's amazing for an indie game. I think it's got the potential to be up there.
I think it might win the indie game of the year.
Possibly, but was Hero Loop this year as well? Hero Loop might have been at this year, and I know that it did quite well critically. So there's a lot of indie games that come out, but the problem is like finding the really good ones. I know that both Hero Loop and Encryption both did really well. Like as soon as they came out, I went to like top selling, top trending. But yeah, I'm going to put Encryption up there. I really hope it gets into even if it doesn't win, just gets into there, just to give it a bit more.
A bit like what Hades and Disco did. They didn't win, but they both got nominated and acknowledged. And people are like, I've never heard that game before. Oh, I'll have a look at it. Oh, I'll give it a try. Oh, that's a good game. Like stuff like that.
Just because I want some DLC for it, I want more.
I want more. I love how the first 4 options we gave we're basically the exact same. Like we're both like on par. Like these games are definitely gonna be nominated. And then like our last 2 options are basically completely drastically different. You've gone for indie game and big AAA game. I went for more big co-op game and then obviously a Nintendo game. So it's quite interesting. Obviously, it'd be interesting if our first 4 choices are all nominated, because then that just shows that we obviously people are in unison of what will be classed as a big game. And then obviously those other ones, it'd be interesting to see what the final 2 are. I'm very much interested for when they announce nominees, which are usually, I think it's usually the start of December. They usually announce them. So it's usually about like a week or 2 worth of nominations. But I mean, obviously me and you are on about doing like a video when that comes out of us like actually picking the nominees from it. So I mean, I think we said we'd love to do a live stream of when the actual awards are, but you know, we're working that day as every fucking time. So all we can ever do is just, I think last year I walked around with my phone just waiting for news articles to update going, come on. I might this year try and fucking find a live stream and just tear my phone off my pocket and just listen to it. That's probably the best idea. And then when like you hear like a big trailer like God of War playing, I'm like, Tom, you're supposed to be doing what? Shut the fuck up! Okay, so let's have a little quick talk about next year's awards then. So obviously we spoke a bit recently, which obviously delved into this year's awards. Obviously next year we felt was going to be a much bigger year for the awards.
It's going to be huge.
Obviously we was on about there's going to be so many games that are going to be pushing for it, and it's going to be like a very close year for a lot. Because there's obviously God of War Ragnarok got delayed till next year, so that's definitely going to be up there. Obviously Horizon Forbidden West got pushed back to next year. Both these games, their previous installments were all nominated for Game of the Year. And then obviously Elden Rings, which we were looking at gameplay recently, and it does look fucking amazing. So next year is going to be such a big year for the game, obviously awards and just gaming in general. There's going to be so much fighting for that acknowledgement of being the best game of the year, and it's going to be so close.
That's only the 3 titles that have been announced now. Like there might be some secret announcement coming out at the Game Awards or whatever. So,
or there could be just something that they're just completely blanking and forgetting that. Oh shit, that exists. Yeah, that could be a fucking really good game coming at it.
To be fair, there's all like even the game of the year this year, there's gonna be one that was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like
Yeah.
last year, things were like, oh, we didn't even know about that, or didn't even think about that. So
There's always that one game that's hidden away, like, oh shit. Because I mean, if you think about it, I feel like sometimes as well. Obviously, we see a game and we're sort of like, ah, it looks a bit shit. But I mean, when it comes out, it can come out to fucking massive acclaim. Like, who knows? Saint Row reboot come out next year. It could be fucking amazing.
oh
It could
my
be like
god,
top tier, and then we could be sitting there here this time obviously next year, debating the awards, going, "Fuck me, that's going to be a good contender for that award." We just don't know until some of these games have been released, because some of them we look at them and it's like, yeah, it's hit or miss. But it's that literally that idea of, like, for example, if you look at some of obviously the ones we've spoke about now, obviously Far Cry 6, you look at this like that point last year when and whatnot, you sit there going, it's Far Cry, it could be hit or miss, it could be a fucking good game like Far Cry 3 or 5, or it could be another Far Cry 4, a bit of a slightly downer game. So or even a fucking New Dawn. It could be one of these ones, or Primal. Just naming a few here that are quite badly looked upon. There's a lot of games that come in a hit or miss. It could be this complete trash heap when it comes out, or it could be a masterpiece, a chef's kiss. Who knows?
Then again, the one year we thought we had the game of the year down straight away, which was Cyberpunk, and then look how that turned out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, we were expecting, because I think that cut off, didn't it? It was a cut off point. So it would have been this year's awards.
We
And we was like,
game.
oh yeah, it's going to be pushed heavily for the 21 awards. So I mean, I feel like if that did so well when it come out, we definitely wouldn't be having this discussion of like, obviously we could be calling it the nominees, but I feel like it would be straight away going, we all know it's going to win. But I mean, for the fact it came out, did so bad at launch, it's barely been fixed as it is. Like, they fixed so much of it, but it's still buggy. It's definitely not going to be anywhere near the nominations. It's not going to be on the awards whatsoever. It would shock me if it is.
The problem with Cyberpunk is like I was playing it earlier. It's like even when it is running great, there's so many little flaws to it. Like when you turn around from an NPC and turn back, they've all disappeared. Or you throw a grenade and instead of people driving away in the cars, all of them just get out of the car and run off. It's so stupid. There's so many little things that they could change and it isn't. But you got games like GTA, which came out how many years ago, and they're like 10 times better for like quality of the NPCs, quality of the game. It's like it's mad.
And it's basically the exact same game, just not futuristic.
I think they went for the big massive graphical thing with Cyberpunk, and it fucked it. They could have gone like a little less with the RTX and all the other crap that they pushed into it. I mean, look how it played on PlayStation 4 when it released. Like, they tried that hard to push it out on like all the other stuff that you just ruined it. So. Even the story, like, I heard a lot of people raving about the story, but like I've played it and I can't get into it at all. The story is so bland. It's just a general run of the mill like thing. It's like you have the 3-year choice at the beginning of the game, like, oh, do you want to pick like Corp and everything? And every single one ends up being the exact same. It's like, what's the point? They'll give me an option to pick anything at the beginning. Like, I thought there was going to be massive choices, and it's not. It's like there's hardly any choice in it. Like, there's like a tiny bit of dialogue here and there that you can change. And it's like, why is that it? Like, it doesn't actually change anything.
See, I can't talk heavily about obviously the story, because I mean, I only played an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at max.
It's one of the problems though. It's always been installed on my computer since launch, and I just can't bring myself to uninstall it.
And you've also done all the updates as well.
Yeah,
even that big 30 gig update was recently.
Yeah, 30 gig update, and all I did was fix a few quests. And I was like, what's the point of that? I'm done play the rest of the game now. It's so bad.
I felt like our topics from the course here.
Yeah, I think we've picked some good games. Obviously, next year is going to be the big one for us. I think. Obviously, I think you've got your prediction down for God of War already.
I feel like Elden Ring is definitely going to be close. It depends on. I feel like it depends on how both launch. That's what's going to solidify who's going to win.
When does God of War actually come out? I don't know. It comes out next year, but there's no actual date yet.
I reckon they'll announce it at the awards. I reckon that'd be a big announcement. Like, they'll throw it in a trailer. It'd be like, I don't know, August 20th, 2022. Prediction. If it comes up now, or praise me as your mighty God.
It'll come out in May.
No! Well, the last one came out on my birthday, so, you know. It'll be hilarious if it comes out on your birthday. But we'll see. As I say, this depends on launch. So, I mean, we're going to do obviously the video just to... this
It
year
definitely won't
to.
be in the same month as Elden Ring because Elden Ring's going to be its competitor. Like I just know it now. It's not going to be anywhere near the same month. If they come out the same month, sales either side are going to go down.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, Elden Ring's February.
I don't think fucking God of War
Nah.
release anywhere near that.
I reckon August, September. I reckon it'll be mid-year. Mid towards end. Because I mean, I reckon they'll throw it later just to cash in on like critics remembering. Shit, that's good, yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm going to put my prediction for next year now. I'm going to say Elden Ring's going to outbeat God of War, and it's going to be a close one, but I think it's going to beat it.
then I'm putting my money on God of War Ragnarok. I got to put my boy Kratos. So,
I love God of War, but I can't deny it when Elden Ring got that fucking gameplay stuff. Like that looks amazing already. I think it's just an open world feel as well. It's like Dark Souls but open world, and I think that's where it's going to take the cake. Obviously, God of War is amazing, and it's
I think God of
Game
War's
of the
gonna.
Year the year it came out.
I
But
think God of War's gonna take it on story though.
do you think God of War is going to be a bit open world as well? Because I know the last one was.
I really
Do you
like.
think the
I
new
think it's
one's
basically
gonna
the exact
expand?
same as that in terms of open world. Maybe they'll expand it a little bit more, but I don't
I
think they'll
hope there's
expand
more
it too
to do
much.
with like the travel. You know, like you could in the last one you could fast travel, but you guys had different worlds to get to the different doors. I wish there's more to do with that. Like you can go to like different dimensions rather than just different places in the same world. That'd be cool.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. So
I
obviously,
think I think story wise it'll be a lot better. I think
yeah.
if there's like a narrative award, it'll win that.
Well,
But I think
there is.
gameplay, well, yeah,
There's the story award. So I mean,
no, it's gonna win that hands down.
I'm
Then
pretty
like
certain Death Stranding won the story one when that come out. I think.
I think God of War win narrative, if not Game of the Year. Obviously, Elden Rings doesn't never really. Even Dark Souls series not massive on the story, so I don't see that winning anything to do narrative. It's all about gameplay. So
Okay, so I'm God of War. Your Elden Rings.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to fight to the death tonight over that one then. Okay, so let's think of any news we got. Movie news I can think of off the top of my head is Disney announced that on Disney Plus Day this Friday. I think 13 Marvel films are being upgraded to the IMAX versions,
oh, yeah.
so we're getting more screen. So
The
obviously,
4K.
well, they're already in 4K as it is, but I mean they're adding the extra,
Oh, the extra
like
tiny bit.
where
That's
we
like
get where we have the black bars on the screen.
oh,
Like
get
they're
rid of
actually
it.
going to be a like footage now. So the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, in Infinity War or whatnot, Thanos when he's standing there, you have like his full bald head, and you have like the ships in the background and shit. Like basically, you have everything on screen for it's
Yeah.
usually only about like 20 minutes worth of footage, but I mean it's usually that bit extra just to expand the screen. I know Dune did it this year with the sandworm. You only got so much of the sandworm on screen, but if you watched it in IMAX, you got the full sandworm and the sky. So that's going to be interesting. That's the other one I was thinking off the top of my head.
Wasn't there some massive leaks about the new Spider-Man?
Oh, obviously in the Spider-Man trailer, they're expecting a new trailer soon for the fact there's a new poster dropped, and there has been some leak rumors and shit. So there's people are anticipating this Spider-Man. To be fair, I woke up today and the first thing I saw was like a thumbnail for a Spider-Man trailer. I was like, oh! I looked and I was like, oh, it's not an actual fucking one. I was like, oh, I was there looking for my subscriptions, going, is it there? Is it there? Is it? Oh,
I'm pretty sure on Twitter, some stuff got leaked, and I know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were trending. As in the top trending. And obviously the Spider-Man in general was trending. So I don't know if what's got leaked, but I could imagine what's got leaked.
I'm interested to see what they do throw into that trailer. I said to you, I don't want to see them two, but I kind of want to see like a shot of it, obviously the legs maybe, just to confirm they're in it, like just to make you go, shit, I need to watch that.
Imagine if it shows like the legs, and when the film comes out, it's like some goofy ass version from like a different multiverse. Like it's not even like the actual good one; it's some like stupid ass one. Like
It's the one. It's the one from Into the Spider-Verse, the one who's eating his burger. Oh no.
or it's just Tobey Maguire, but when he's the cool guy,
Oh,
just the entire time.
who knows? I'm trying to think of some other news I can think of. Oh, in gaming news, obviously Jurassic World Evolution 2 just came out.
I saw you playing it.
I played about half hour. As you'll see on my playthrough, or have seen by the time this video goes out, yeah, it doesn't go quite well for me in the first half hour. I mean, it was a perfect excuse to end the video, But it's like, oh shit. I mean, I'm gonna probably restart from the beginning because I had to use the streamer mode to get rid of obviously the copyright music. Yeah. But I kind of want the music on, so I'm gonna restart the game entirely. Because I mean, as I say, I only got like the Stegosaurus is where I got to, but my reload back to Triceratops. I'm gonna just restart entirely and just have the music over the top of it, so I can go da 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 da. But what I played of it does look quite cool. Like, I mean, I was playing a bit of it, and you start in like Arizona, and you got like a little desert, and you're building obviously the park there. And I mean, you have to go and catch the ones that are in the wild. And I mean, you get in the helicopter, you start flying, you think, oh, it's not going to be that far. So you only got so far that you're allowed to build. But I mean, there's so much where you can't build, where the dinosaurs are located. It's like a massive fuck-off map. It was ridiculous size. I was like, Jesus Christ. I went so far, obviously got one dinosaur. I come back, I was like, oh, I need to get these other ones. So I went back to the area. I was like, where are they? Looking on the map. I was like, oh, it's that way. I went there, and it was so far in the other distance. I was like, fucking hell, how much map is there to this game? And that's just the start of the campaign. I'm like, I think I was like 16% into the campaign, and that was just from 30 minutes of gameplay. Campaign's not massive, but apparently the best things about the game is like the challenge mode and the
oh yeah, like doing all the extra stuff.
What's the Chaos Theory mode where you play through the films?
Oh yeah,
you play through key moments from the films. I'm still just waiting to get the fucking aquatic dinosaurs. That's all I fucking want. So I'm gonna be fucking playing that just to get that. I might do another video on it eventually when I got my park all set up. Because I mean, I just did like the basic bitch start. I did a tutorial. As I said, I didn't even get too far into that because I fucked up. But I'll probably jump back into it again at some point. Maybe even have you or someone on, like, to show you around my nice, lovely ass park. Who knows?
And you could show someone around your park in VR.
That'd be cool. I mean, that'd be quite cool. Really cool. What else I got? That Marvel Midnight Suns got delayed, didn't it? Till late next year. That new game.
It got delayed. Didn't even know it got delayed.
I told you.
You probably did tell me, but
I messaged you and then told you in person.
You know,
don't listen to me.
Tommy, you fill me with so much information throughout the day. Some of it just pushes out. Yeah, it's like I remember something, and then it always goes.
It got delayed to like late next year. I think the fourth quarter got delayed too, or the third quarter. I don't
think I've seen anything from it really.
They released the gameplay they did before. When it first got announced, they showed it like cinematic and gameplay, and it kind of went quiet. And they're like, "Yeah, we delayed it now. Sorry."
What studio's doing it?
The ones from XCOM.
Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, I know what you're on about now. Yeah, it's not fucking Square Enix, thank God.
No.
Actually, Square Enix did pretty good with the last Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you see them quite recently with Avengers saying that, yeah, we fucked up on that one?
Like, what was the microtransaction or the entire game?
Oh, I mean, they just come out in general saying it was a big cock up.
Oh, no, I didn't see anything
like, I mean, obviously they did the microtransactions, then took it off completely because they're like, oh, shit. Think about the XP boosting paying for.
Yeah.
But I mean, they come out in general and was like, yeah, we fucked up on this game. Sorry.
It could have been so much better than it was.
100%.
That's such a massive title, and they just went shit on it. So,
I think what else, news-wise?
You're pregnant?
Huh?
You're pregnant? When you expecting?
You put babies due in about 2 weeks.
In about 2 minutes, say that.
I can't think of anything else. That's jumping at the top of my head.
No, I can't think of anything either. Obviously, Battlefield comes out soon. Call of Duty's been slammed in every way possible, but I still want to play it, which is really bad. The
only thing I can think of top of my head is the directive, the new Halloween movies came out saying next year's Halloween Ends is going to be like a complete different tonal shift to the last two. And it's going to be like a massive homage to John Carpenter.
So less brutal.
I don't know, I reckon it'll still be brutal at times. But I mean, like, a lot of the tonal, I'm assuming, like, because obviously Halloween Kills is like adrenaline racing movie, whereas obviously Halloween 2018 was more of a slow build up. So I'm assuming it's going to be something a bit different with this, which is interesting. Yeah. I like something different. Makes an interesting rewatch when you watch the trilogy again. Like, okay, it's like completely different as it goes through, but it like fits in so well. I can't think of anything else.
No, I think I'm done as well.
My brain's just like seeping out my ears currently because I can't think of anything else.
Into your headphones.
Yeah, okay, I'll do then. Any questions or anything, as usual, comments below.
If you have predictions for the game of the year, leave it below.
Yeah, exactly. Your predictions for nominees, who's going to win it, and just anything in general to the game of the year. And your thoughts on this little rivalry between me and him on Elden Rings and God of War.
Yeah, Elden Ring's gonna win.
Nah, God of War's got it, mate. So, yeah, we'll obviously see you in about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, more than likely.
Until
I'm
then,
liking that. I like yourself over there.
yeah, camera's there. Lovely.